Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Shout out to you amazing deep divers. Another beautiful day. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Let's breathe. One more time. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Raising the frequency, raising the vibration, sprinkling that good ass energy on you right now, deep divers. Take that, take that, take that. Look, we're going to talk about Sean Diddy Combs. Homes raided by Homeland Security. Become your greatest version, deep divers. Once again, any topic that I talk about is designed to help you become your greatest version. Before we get into this, look, I've just started a new Patreon, and there are videos way too spicy for YouTube. Even the cat down the road knows that. So they can only actually be on Patreon. So sign up to the Patreon, get exclusive content that is too spicy for YouTube. Click the link below. So, Sean Diddy Combs, homes raided by Homeland Security. Now, his homes were raided in Los Angeles, Miami, New York. Why am I making a video about this? Why am I making a video about Diddy? All my videos, deep divers, are designed to help you to become your greatest version. And there are so many powerful lessons to learn from this whole situation with Diddy that can actually help us become our greatest version. This also ties into what is also happening that a lot of people can't see. We're going to dive into it, and I'm going to tell you why this is actually happening to Diddy right now. I want everyone to hit that like button if you support the real. Once again, hit that like button right now if you support the real, because we got a whole lot to talk about. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. If you are watching this video, deep divers, this is your confirmation. New breakthroughs are coming into your life. I want you to receive them and give thanks. So, look, Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, homes raided in Los Angeles, Miami. Why is this happening to him right now? And how is this linked into other things they're not talking to you about? We're going to talk about it, and we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? So once again, deep divers, I've got to talk about the Matrix stuff, right? You know why? Because that's where a lot of people's minds are at. The Matrix news, right? And in the Matrix, Sean Diddy Combs, music mogul, his homes were raided by Homeland Security. Now, this is crazy, right? Because a lot of people think that when you're a music mogul, when you've been around for decades, like P. Diddy, you are literally untouchable. But I'm here to tell you, deep divers, the devil loves no one. Slow motion this side. And when you are dancing with the devil, you've got to remind yourself of that the devil will also come for you as well, right? That's just a metaphor, deep divers, right? So when we take a look at this whole situation, anytime the feds raid your home, it's because they have a strong belief that they're going to find something. You know, last year I actually made a video saying that in 2024, it's going to get ugly for Diddy. You know why? Because we are in the age of truth and the judgment day. And, you know, Cassie filed the lawsuits and it was settled the next day. And a lot of people's eyebrows were raising to say, hey, how come you've paid off Cassie the next day? And a lot of people thought it's gone away. No, it hasn't gone away, because this happened, right? His children were detained, and, you know, his Miami property raided, his Los Angeles home raided. And when I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, this is crazy, but why is this happening? There's a reason why this is happening, right? Look, you got tanks pulling up. You got heavy artillery. Many Homeland Security were there, and news reporters were there. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize that the music industry is a club. And when you are in the club, you get benefits. But any time that you do something against the club, they are gonna humiliate you publicly. It's called a humiliation ritual. And this is exactly what's happening to Sean Diddy Combs. He's going through a public humiliation ritual. A public humiliation ritual. And this is exactly what's happening. Because you see, sometimes, like, you might think, okay, Diddy's worth $1 billion, right? $1 billion. That's a lot of money, right? But there are people even more powerful than Diddy who are actually pulling the strings, controlling the music industry. And they are the ones that actually put him there. They are the ones that actually put him there. And they can just take everything away from you. Like the mansion. That massive mansion, right? Look how big it is, deep divers. They gave it to you so they can take it back. You know, Kanye West said it best. He said, I sold my soul to the devil for a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. Kanye West also said that if you say anything, you lose everything. Now, why am I telling you this? Because you see, there's a reason why this is happening to Sean Diddy Combs. Because he broke the oath. When you are in that club, the music industry, you got to do what they say. You can't speak up against them. You see, a while back, what happened? Let me read it to you, deep divers, okay? Sean Diddy Combs sues Diageo, right? The US rapper, producer, and entrepreneur Sean Combs has sued the spirits giant Diageo, accusing the British multinational of racism and of deliberately undermining a joint venture spirits brand. In a court filing on Wednesday, lawyers for Combs say Diageo and its executives have put their feet on the neck of Mr. Combs' brands, choking off production, distribution, and sales of Combs wines and spirit brands, including Ciroc vodka and the high-end tequila brand De Leon, right? So Sean Diddy Combs a while back was suing this very, very powerful corporation, Diageo. Okay, they're actually worth like 81 billion. And whenever you kind of bite the hand that feeds you, you might think you're going to sue them. He thought he's going to sue them, but actually they're going to publicly humiliate you in front of the whole world, in front of your own children. And that's exactly what happened. Now, don't get it twisted. You know, names are powerful, okay? Whenever you call yourself a bad boy, words have power. And if you're a bad boy, that means you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. You see, word is bond. And that's why I always tell you, deep divers, when we talk about becoming our greatest version, be careful what you name yourself. Because if you go by the name of a Bad Boy Records, if that's your whole company, your whole record label, it's going to catch up with you. And also, if you remind yourself that during the East Coast, West Coast beef with Tupac, Biggie, all of these things, you know, there was a lot of talk saying that, okay, Puffy might have had something to do with Tupac's murder, paying $1 million to Southside Crips, all of that stuff. Now, that can't be proven. But, you know, P. Diddy rubbed people the wrong way. Even his own bodyguard, Big Gene, came out saying, hey, this is what Diddy used to do in these parties and all kind of things. So how can we actually take this situation to help us become our greatest versions? Well, you got to remind yourself, deep divers, that anything you do is going to catch up with you. In life, anything you do is going to catch up with you. And, you know, when I think of Diddy, I'm always thinking of these like bad parties, right? And he's been doing this for a long time, but what happens in those parties? You know, there's, in the industry, people always say, okay, Diddy's parties are crazy, but what's actually going on in those parties? You've got to remind yourself that a lot of things take place in those parties. Now, we don't know exactly what's going on, but we do know that they're not going to raid both homes, a home in Miami, Los Angeles, and even the one in New York, they're not going to raid your homes unless it's very serious. And unless the elites in that industry, because we are the elites deep divers, slow motion, unless the elites in that industry want to publicly humiliate you. You know, I predicted that they're coming after Diddy because he went against Diageo, right? That corporation. And he wanted to kind of publicly humiliate them to say, hey, I'm going to sue your ass. And in fact, he's the one that's getting sued by like so many different people. There's a lesson to be learned here. In fact, I wasn't the only one who predicted this. There was also a woman who actually predicted what would happen to Diddy. Take a listen to this, deep divers.
An utter takedown of P. Diddy and his 3 right-hand men, okay? 3. His mouth is being sewn up. So when I see his face, the image I get is the mouth is being sewn up. So he is going to be unable to speak for some reason. I can't talk. I cannot speak for myself anymore. It's because of his mentors. And they don't want it coming out over here, even though some of them are outing themselves. These are old guys connected to old style Motown. He's being shut up from outing them or from speaking about them for some reason. So there's a hierarchy going on here, and there's a total takedown of him. He is being sacrificed. So he may think he gets away with stuff. He may think it's cool he does what he does, but now he's the sacrificial lamb. And I do mean that. There's something that comes up with him in March, speaking of the lamb, during the Easter time frame, March, April, right in that time frame. That's why I said lamb. There's something else that's going to come up with him. We are not done. There are younger musicians that are going to come out against him and talk about what he did. The bodies that are buried, okay? So the bodies that are buried, they're going to talk about it. Talk about it. There are men in other countries who are going to speak about it. There is political connections to him.
So she was really going in. Those predictions actually came true. She's talked about how it's going to happen in March. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb. You know, you've got to remind yourself, deep divers, that sacrifice happens in the music industry all the time. And many people who are like P. Diddy, who are like the massive moguls, normally aren't the ones who are actually, they're not the ones who are being sacrificed. But you see, when you are in that industry and you break the oath, you're trying to sue like corporations and all of that, you're getting out of line, they're going to come after you just to show you who's really in control, just to show you who's got the power. So you think you're going to sue us? Well, let's see about that. And this is exactly, in my mind, what's happening to P. Diddy, because you got to remind yourself, deep divers, that in the industry, in the music industry, they're doing a whole lot of satanic stuff, terrible stuff, but there are people who get away with it if they stick to the script. But anytime you're like, hey, wait a second, I'm going to sue this company and that company, they're like, wait a second, I gave you this mansion and all of these riches, and now you want to turn against me? When we talk about becoming our greatest version, you know, there's a line in the Bible: what good is it to gain the whole world but lose your soul in the process? And we've got to remind ourselves that so many celebrities sell their souls, and they don't realize that they don't even own their soul, because when the devil wants to come and collect, he's going to come back, and it's going to be when you've already made your, you know, all of your success, when you're just chilling, you want to have a good life at the end, and then they're like, wait a second, we're going to take that away from you. Now, once again, I don't even know if these allegations are true or not. What I do know is that there's a reason why it's happening, because it's a public humiliation ritual. Now, Cassie is here, right, with Diddy, okay? And she doesn't even look happy. The lesson we can learn from this when we talk about becoming our greatest versions is that not everything that glitters is gold, right? Not everything that glitters is gold. A lot of the relationships you see in the industry, even on the gram, right? They're fake relationships. And you got to remind yourself, stop looking at these celebrities like they're gods. You are the gods and goddesses, not them, right? Now, once again, he's being like, they're talking about sexual trafficking. Now, when I heard that, I'm like, okay, that's strange. Because, the Matrix, when they want to come after you, they kind of put that sexual allegations, right? They did it with Russell Brand, Andrew Tate. So I always tell you, always be able to read in between the lines. But you see, Sean Combs, his time is up. The reason why is because he was the bad boy, but now he's meeting another bad boy who's going to show him who's the real bad boy. Diageo are going to show him who's the real bad boy. So you got to remind yourself that here you got Tupac, you got Biggie. They were once friends. Now that whole East Coast, West Coast beef, Bad Boy, Death Row, right? A lot of people were annoyed at Puffy, Sean Diddy Combs, for allowing Biggie to go to Los Angeles. The Vibe Awards or whatever was out there, right? They're like, Biggie should have never been in LA. Even Gene Deal talks about that, right? So he was supposed to go to London, and apparently Diddy was the one who said, okay, Biggie, just go to LA and it's going to be okay. But that's how Biggie got killed. So a lot of people feel some type of way that actually, Diddy is responsible for Biggie's murder and maybe even Tupac's, right? So this is where it gets crazy. And like I always tell you, that whatever you do in the dark will come out in the light. Once again, we don't know. But what we do know is that it will catch up with you. Now, here you have Diddy, Kanye West, Prince Harry, Prince William, right? So the reason why this story is important is because in the new lawsuit against Diddy, it mentions Prince Harry. And this is why I told you that it's all connected. Music industry, politics, entertainment, it's all connected. When you're in that club, like George Carlin said, they all work together, right? So when you take a look at this, you realize that actually this is also something to pay attention to. Now, I'm showing you the Baphomet because the reason why Diddy, they're raiding his homes right now is because, listen, the Baphomet consumes its own children. Okay? The Baphomet consumes its own children. The Baphomet consumes its own children. So even right here, you got a young girl, young boy looking up to the Baphomet. And the Baphomet, this is who they worship in the industry. And the Baphomet actually consumes its own children. So P. Diddy was long regarded as someone who's untouchable. You can't touch me. But you see, once the Baphomet says, actually, I'm done with you, it's going to publicly humiliate you in front of the whole world. And that's why I always tell you, deep divers, focus on the righteous path. Focus on raising the frequency, raising the vibration. Because you see, in the end, the Baphomet, even if you worship it, it sacrifices you. Let me repeat that. Even if you worship the Baphomet, it sacrifices you. Now, what I also, when I was diving into this topic, I said, okay, wait a second. What about Epstein? What about Jeffrey Epstein? You know, he was mysteriously self-deleted in a cell, which was very mysterious, and he did terrible things, predator, all of that. But when he was alive, you don't even have any interviews with him, right? That's kind of strange. What about the people who were on that island? Prince Andrew, Trump, Bill Clinton. All of these people, their homes aren't being raided, right? So you've got to remind yourself that it's a big club. And when you stop serving the Baphomet in that club, they're coming after you. They're coming after your homes. They're coming after your children. They're going to publicly humiliate you. And they're going to bring in the feds and the news reporters. So this is a lesson that it's really not worth it to sell your soul for a crappy deal. I know you might get a few toys and a Happy Meal like Kanye West said, but it's not worth it. Your soul is not for sale. I want everyone right now to hit that like button if you support The Real. Share this video, subscribe. Once again, hit that like button if you support The Real. Share this video, subscribe. And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Once again, deep divers, I want everyone to join the Patreon because there are videos I'm going to put out only on the Patreon that are way too spicy for YouTube. Current events, things happening. And it's all going to be designed to help you to become your greatest version. So click the link on the Patreon, become a member right now. Let's breathe. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Go and check out the #1 best-selling book, Deep Divers, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook, the Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version. And check out the latest new book, The Book of 1111 Infinite Quotes by Ralph Smart at ralphsmart.com/thebook, The Secret Recipe to Becoming Your Greatest Version. And go and get the good ass prana shirts, Deep Divers, for men, women, children, even cats down the road at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you're a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart, you want to model the clothing, well, go and buy some. You want a one-to-one consultation with Ralph Smart? You can book it at ralphsmart.com/consultations so I can help you become your greatest version. And Feel Alive Part 2 is coming out. Deep Divers, what good is it to have all the riches in the world but to lose your soul in the process? This is a lesson that in the end, dancing with the devil, dancing with the Baphomet will catch up with you, because the Baphomet eats its own children. Remind yourself of that. Peace. Infinite Waters diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You! Once again, deep divers, hit that like button if you support The Real. Share this video with someone. Subscribe. Once again, hit that like button if you support The Real and leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation and let me know how you're becoming your greatest version today. Deep divers is peace, love, and positivity. One love. Peace.